members ask quick questions, but I think I have to give him a slightly longer answer. On overshooting capacity, I think what you mean by that is whether we expect that we will go beyond what we think is the expected volume. To some extent, there's predictability, and the reason why there's predictability is because airlines file their flight plans with the airport authority, with Changi Airport, for example, in this case, for the next cycle, which is really from October through to March next year. It's called the Northern Winter Schedule. So from that point of view, we already have a reasonable idea of the kind of flows to expect. Of course, there may be variations to that for a variety of reasons, whether it's disruptions, etc. But by and large, given what has been presented to our airport, we think that the estimations that we have are within the ballpark. But whether it will exactly turn out the way we expect, well, I think there are many unknowns, as all of us well appreciate, and the Minister of Health talked about some of these risks as well. So I think we need to just bear in mind that we plan with the capacity in mind, but we also need to be vigilant and be prepared to pivot to a more conservative and careful stance if the need arises. And of course, the assumptions that the member asked about that underlie this planning, well, apart from what the airlines submit, etc., is of course, in general, how the source markets are opening up. And in particular, in our part of the world, in the Asia Pacific, most have opened up, as I mentioned earlier, Japan, Taiwan, etc., and Hong Kong have all opened up. But I think one of the most significant markets is China. And China's opening strategy, I think, is something that we have to observe because every country has to, navigate this path based on its circumstances. And China is a significant source for us. Pre-COVID, China would have accounted for about 20% of our tourism visitor arrivals. So I think that is a major uncertainty as well that we will have to watch out for. Second point on recruitment, and can we speed up the recruitment? I can assure you that all the aviation companies are throwing the kitchen sink at this because this is a very challenging time. I think we know that there's just a general shortage of manpower, and in particular for aviation, especially on the air side, it's not just about recruitment, but we've got to make sure that they are trained and they are able to deliver safely for themselves and for all other users of the aviation services. So this is a major task. But as I said, if I can just take members back, we had about 1/3 attrition in our aviation industry workforce. It was at about 35,000. At the end of last year, we had about 25,000. First half of this year, I think about 4,000 were recruited. And the aim is really to get another 4,000 members to join the workforce, workers in the workforce, in the aviation workforce, and that should bring us to about 90%. And in terms of new talent, that really is going to be an important area of focus going forward because two aspects, digitalization and sustainability are going to be key drivers for the aviation industry. And for this, we will need specific skill sets. So we either have to retrain those who are already in the industry, and that is happening as we speak. But at the same time, we also may need specific types of talent to come on board to augment what we already have. And so this is something that both the airlines, but also the airport and ground handlers are focused on.
Dr.